boys and girls. Today we are on lesson 10.11 and we're talking about ratios. A ratio is a way to compare numbers. So I want to go back to when we were talking about fractions and when you did that coin flip. Some of you, gave you a paper where you got to flip some coins and decide of how many times would it be head, how many times would it be tails. So I already flipped some coins and I have some heads coins here and some times that it turned into tails. So I have 4 heads and I have 6 tails. So when we make a ratio, we're comparing two numbers. So I have 4 to 6, 4 heads to the 6 tails. And we can put that in fraction form. 4 heads, that would be the number of heads goes on top and the number of tails goes on the bottom. So when we compare these two numbers, we can put it in this form or in this form. And a reminder that a ratio is a way to compare two numbers. Now let's give some more examples. For instance, if I have 3 to 8, I would put that in fraction form as 3 over 8. Or if I have 5 to 2, I'm going to put that in fraction form, 5 over 2. Now, what if I had 3 chocolate milks to 4 orange juices? I would still put it in 3 to 4, and then I could put it in the fraction form 3 over 4. But let's go back to the coins, and instead of saying it's 4 to 6, now let's compare the total amount of coins. We have 10 coins, so we have 4 to 10 heads, 4 over 10, or we can have 6 tails, so we can say it's 6 to the 10, or we can say that we have 6 tenths. But what if, let's take the last fraction, 6 tenths. What if we decide that we want to go to and find an equivalent fraction for, if we were going to roll it 10, not just 10 times, we were going to do it 100 times, what would that be? Well, to make an equivalent fraction, I want to see how many times this could go here. And we know that 10 times 10 is 100. So then we do the same thing to the top. So that means I'm not really going to do it 100 times, but if I were to guess that I was going to do it 100 times, that 60% of the time I would only have get the heads. Okay? So when it's over 100, we know that it's a percent. And a percent is a number that shows how many are out of 100. So anytime you see 100, you know that you can change it automatically into a percent. Percent means per 100. So we're going to talk, we're going to go back and get our hundredths grids out. Or I have grids to show you. You don't have them right now. But we're going to see the hundredth parts here. It's all broken down. And I'm just going to show you a couple of examples. 7 to 100, 7 100ths, 0.07, because the decimal's tenths, hundredths, and then we have 7%. And just to show you what it looks like in a grid is I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts. Now what's going to happen when I have a ratio of 35 to 100? My fraction will be 35 over 100. My decimal will be 0.35. Please say the zeros. And then I will have 35%. But how many squares will I color in? Well, I will color in 35. So that's 10, 20, 30, 31, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if I colored in my whole grid, this is what it would look like. Here I have a 100 to 100. 100 over 100, or we can say that it's 1.0 because it's one whole, and you're going to see that in a minute when I show you, or it's 100%. Now, if you got 100% on your spelling test, what does that mean? You got everything right. All the problems were right. So let's pretend like this is your spelling test, and all the problems are right. So then what do? You color in the whole box because every single spelling word was correct. I know that looks a little messy, but 100% means it's all right. Then we have 82%, 0.82, 82 over 100, or 82 to 100 is our ratio. So then we're going to color in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 1 and 2. So those are just a few examples there. Now, as you get to your work, I wanted to make it a little easier for you today as you're doing your practice. And I wanted to just kind of show you what I'm looking for in the answers so that you have a little bit more of a focus. So for instance, number 1, Riker had $1 in his pocket. He gave 45 cents to a classmate who needed milk money. Write a percent to show what part was given away. Well, if we go back to our little chart, what do we say? 1.00 is the same as 100%. So we can make a fraction, we can make our percentage, the fraction would be over 100, but they want a percent. So if he had 45 cents, that means he had 45%. So your answer is going to be 45%. And then number 2, they're going to be looking for a ratio, so it's blank to blank. Number 3, they're going to be looking for a fraction from the ratio. Number 4, they're going to be looking for a couple different things here. They're going to say write a fraction, write a percent. And so you have your fraction, and then you have 2% you're going to be writing. Number 5 is a ratio. Number 6 is a ratio, a fraction, a decimal, and a percent. And don't make it harder than it really is. If it's just a percent and it's over 100, you just write the number again with the percent sign. So you guys, I know you can do it. Think about all the stuff that we talked about today. Review the lesson. And if you still need help, you're welcome to Zoom me in the afternoon. Have a fun time.